Goat versus Fish! In the beginning, there was Goat versus Fish. The GoatVsFish. And Goat versus Fish said that there should be goat and that there should be fish. There is no alpha or omega. There is no black or white. There is no good or evil. There is only goat and fish. And Goat versus Fish. Welcome to the Goat vs. Fish podcast, recorded at the world-famous Comedy Store, Los Angeles, a place of Goat vs. Fish. Goat vs. Fish speaks directly to you now, speaks directly to you. You have many questions, yes?
Yes.
Who is Goat vs. Fish? What is Goat vs. Fish? Why is Goat vs. Fish?
Why?
But there is only one question. Are you goat or are you fish? Ponder it now. Who shall triumph, the goat or the fish? Let us find out on this versus of Goat versus Fish.
I can't play that high.
This versus Goat versus Fish speaks to a one, speaks to another one. Oh, it is a celebratory one. Oh, it is a celebratory one. And what do the ones call this one? What do the ones call this one?
Well, my mom calls me Kristen and my family, but I'm a goat.
You are a goat. It is a goat. Celebration for goat. Celebration for goat. That is a goat celebration?
Yeah, that was
oh,
the
what a
celebration,
celebration
man.
of goat. Oh, you are very celebratory, goat. You know,
Yeah,
goat
I
versus
celebrated
fish.
twice already.
Ah, you have celebrated more than once, yes. How many verses do you think this goat could celebrate? If you were told by a fish that you could not celebrate this goat as much as you pleased, yes, how much celebration of this goat would you celebrate?
The more the fish don't want me to celebrate, the more that I'm gonna celebrate.
Was there not supposed to be a fish joining us this verses?
Yeah, there was supposed to be a fish here. And we were supposed to talk about it, but the fish chickened out.
Ah, the fish. Ah, you call the fish a chicken.
He chickened out, y'all.
Ah, the defensively chicken,
That's the
yes.
only
Is
way
it
to
goat
put it.
or fish? Yes. Oh, do you hear it, fish? The goat is calling you chicken. This is very verses. This is very verses.
Little two verses.
Goat versus fish would be pleased if that fish could now taunt you, goat, could taunt you into celebrating. Ah, it is a new celebration.
Yeah, I'm celebrating again. I was a little fish back in the day. Then I decided that I'm gonna hit the hay. So I became a goat. Now I'm living hay. I didn't plan on doing that song. That was impromptu.
Ah, that was a celebration that just came from the very verses of the ponderer, yes?
Yes, yes.
Ah, how do you
Indeed.
feel about these celebrations? Do you often celebrate in such a way that you do not know what is coming in the celebration, or do you plan your celebrations, goat?
I do a little 50-50.
Ah, half goat
Keep
and
it
half
half-
fish?
Oh, I wouldn't go that far. You know, I'll do a spontaneous celebration and then do one that's planned, you know. Keep it well balanced. Life can't be so regimented all the time.
What is the strength of this goat when you versus a fish?
Ooh. Like, are we talking like on a Richter scale? Like,
We are talking as goat. As a goat, what is the
Mm.
strength of this goat? Yes.
well, the outside of my core is pretty strong, but I'm pretty soft on the inside.
And the strength of this goat is its softness within?
Yes.
That is what Goat versus Fish did ask for. The strength of the goat, and you say it is a soft within goat, yes?
You know, we don't celebrate weakness as much as we celebrate strength, but part of what makes strength is so great is the weakness.
That does sound very strange to Goat versus Fish. How do you suppose that you could triumph over a fish?
What? I could triumph a fish, yeah. No problem.
Tell us of your greatest triumph. Tell us of your greatest triumph, Goat. Yes.
Ooh, greatest triumph. I mean, but it's not like necessarily like over a fish. Is that okay? We talking just
what
like
else is there to
straight
triumph?
up?
What else is there to triumph? It is all Goat versus Fish.
Well,
it
wait,
is all
are
goat
you
versus
are
fish.
you Goat versus Fish? You're not nor Goat nor Fish, right?
Both Goat and Fish, neither
okay,
Goat nor Fish.
great.
The unity and disunity of Goat and Fish forever. Goat versus Fish, the Goat Fish, yes.
Okay, yes.
You have spoken to Goat versus Fish at several other verses, yes, outside the comedy store
yeah.
Los Angeles, yes.
Oh, yes. I see you just walking down the street usually, harassing people. Or I shouldn't say harassing, but enlightening people about the Goat versus Fish.
Yes,
cause.
asking them to choose Goat or Fish.
Outside the
asking them to
comedy
choose Goat or
store.
Fish.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's fun.
yes.
That's fun shit.
When you first beheld Goat versus Fish, what did you ponder? What did you ponder, Goat?
What did I ponder about what I think of you? I was like, oh my God, this guy's brilliant.
Goat versus Fish is brilliant, says the Goat. Goat.
I was like, at first, I'm like, oh, crazy person. And then I was like, oh, wait a second. There's a theme and it's thought out and fun. So I was like, dude, congrats. No, check this. Man, you guys can't even see what's in here. There's Beanie Babies. There's like...
There is Goat and Fish. There is the verses. Oh, the mighty verses of Goat versus Fish, yes.
I love this. You sewed this by hand. Or did
Goat
you have
versus
a, or
Fish.
Did you have
Goat
a,
versus Fish
Did you have a
loves you.
fish? What?
You said you did love the verses of Goat versus Fish, and Goat versus Fish loves this goat, yes.
Thank you. I love verses. I love Goat versus Fish. I love goat. I like fish.
As for the verses, it has always been
love
verses.
fish.
It has always been verses, yes. Though Goat versus Fish remembers there was a fish that was called the Amanda Cohen fish, yes. It is on the 10th verses of the Goat
yes.
versus Fish podcast, yes.
Yes.
And that
Amanda
one does
Cohen.
help to bring verses to Goat versus Fish. This can be said of the Amanda Cohen fish. Pity there's not a fish here now. There's not a fish here now. But you are a goat.
Well,
We
let's call
celebrate
Amanda
this goat.
Cohen. I'll battle her. I'll, just do like a Goat versus Fish little standoff. Let's get Amanda Cohen.
That would
in
please Goat versus Fish. That would please Goat versus Fish. Do you issue verses? Do you issue verses to the Amanda Cohen fish? Speak now. Speak now to the Amanda Cohen fish, and you can issue
Ooh,
verses to
yeah.
it, yes.
Fish Amanda Cohen. You are my mother from a different world, but not from this one. And that's why you're a fish. Is that all right?
Did
I have
you
no
issue
fucking
verses
idea.
to it?
How to issue verses, so I have to say, okay, yes. So Amanda Cohen, get your ass in this podcast studio so we can versus this, so I can issue verses to you, because I can't issue verses to her unless she's here. And I love Amanda Cohen. And I want to issue verses to her out of love. And out of just trying to get to know the other side.
Goat versus Fish remembers now. Oh, Goat versus Fish remembers now when you were on the Goat versus Fish Instagram that you did speak of wishing to form the unity of the goat fish.
Oh, yes. I want us to just work together. Maybe we go protest together, go protest something silly, just all the goats and all the fish. Just get everybody together. Go protest something. Go protest beach umbrellas or something, they kill people. Beach umbrellas.
They end goat or fish?
They can end a goat or a fish or a
Why
versus.
would on the place where the land meets the sea?
Question is not why.
Ah, that is a very wise goat. That is a very wise goat, yes.
Beach umbrellas are dangerous to goats. Very dangerous to fish. Even though I ain't a fish. Even though I'm not a fish. Sorry, I'm not in Dayton, Ohio anymore. I still care about fish. And so we should all just get together. The goat, the fish, the versuses.
There is only goat and fish. There is only goat and fish. The verses
There's no
is of the goat
versuses.
and the fish.
Oh, shit.
But you seek the unity of goat and fish. Goat versus fish is perhaps pleased that there is not a fish here, because then it would be all goat fish. And goat versus fish is seeking verses of goat versus fish. Wish to see verses. Wish to see verses. Yes.
All right. Yeah, I kind of dressed like a fish today, and and just in my quest of more deeply understanding a fish, I wore this blue dress, and then I also have a mask, and this is something that I use to impersonate fish. It's for, impersonation purposes only.
Yes, Albamani one. Let us get a visage of this. What has happened to this goat? Oh, you do not seem as a goat now. Is this the same? Is goat versus fish speaking to the same goat now?
Yes.
Oh, you are still goat.
It's a new visage. Just like
a new visage of goat!
A new visage. It's just an wait, I gotta do the bull thing, the goat thing.
Yes, let's just see it with goat. Otherwise, they might suspect you are fish. They may suspect you are fish.
I'm not fish. I used to be a fish, but I changed my mind. I changed my identity. And so now I kind of feel like I can identify with a little of both.
You do seem to have the fin of the fish just coming out from the side of you. Yes, coming out from the side.
Okay, let me take this off. There we go. All right, now I'm back.
That is a goat. Now that is a goat, yes.
Now I'm back. Do you want to try it on?
You offer this to goat versus fish.
Take walk in the shoes of the fish, Take walk in their flippers.
Well, goat versus fish, yes. Goat versus fish has been made an offering by this goat, and goat versus fish will not refuse the offering of this goat, yes?
Give it a try. It was like $70. Don't stretch it too much. There, it'll go over his head. That's all good. Oh, wow. Wow.
Goat versus fish. Goat versus fish.
Again.
Goat versus fish.
Nice.
Now that goat versus fish is feeling with this fish visage, yes, goat versus fish is feeling very fish.
Throw it down, fish.
Goat. I see you being goat. I see you being goat. Oh, you may have the horn of the goat. Oh, you may be on the land of the goat. But you are afraid of the fish, and you are afraid of the sea. And this fish is ready to versus this goat. It's ready to versus this goat.
You are a fish. That's what I see.
And you are a goat. You are a goat. That is what this fish sees.
I bet you eat Band-Aids that fall off of little kids.
Oh, a fish would not consume such a fence-sittily thing. A fish would not consume such a fence-sittily thing. No, this fish would consume a very goat. Any goat that would come to versus a fish.
I bet you consumed a straw on accident once. That was kind of mean, but oh well.
Oh, this fish thinks that this versus is not fair to the fish. No, you have such a celebration. You have such a celebration. Where is goat versus fish to tell this goat that it is not even versus? Not even versus. This fish accuses this goat of not having honest verses with the fish.
How dare you say that this goat does not have honest verses to the fish? Because I have accidentally eaten Band-Aids, or not Band-Aid, but had them float on me, and I have seen straws in the water, and it seems very reasonable that they might be consumed by a stupid fish.
More likely by a stupid goat. More likely by a stupid goat. Oh, fish are not so stupid that they would consume a fence such as these. No, it is more like a goat. It is more like a goat to consume such these, what you do call them, yes, these and-bades, or whatever it is you do call them, speaking such verses, such strange verses to a fish that could only come from the addled ponderer of a goat that has not seen verses in so long. This fish suspects that this goat has not even seen verses, has not even verses to fish.
This is my first time versing a fish.
What kind of goat are you, goat? What kind of goat are you, goat, that has not even verses to fish?
I'm a humble, peaceful goat.
It is a humble, peaceful goat. It is a humble, peaceful goat. It is goat versus fish. It is goat versus fish.
Goat versus fish.
Yes, goat versus fish returns now. Yes, goat versus
That's
fish
weird.
was, yes, feeling very fish just a verses ago. Yes, wished to create goat versus fish. Yes, but now it is goat versus fish.
That mask is made out of real leather. So, I mean, depending on how you crumble the cookie, I mean, I don't know what kind of leather it is. Could be goat leather. Just want to throw that out there.
That this
That
fish
little
could have
fist
come from a
smash.
goat? That the fish does come from goat?
Could have more likely a cow, but, you know, a cow, a land roamer, you know, a mammal.
You're at once
yeah.
fancitally and yet at once very goatfish. Yes, it is often the ones who wish to form the unity of the goatfish that wish to be both goat and fish that are always seeming such a fancitter. Are you
no,
goat
no,
or
no,
fish?
no.
Are you goat or fish?
I'm a goat.
It is a goat.
I'm not a fence sitter. Don't ever assume or even think that.
Ah, perhaps when it was fish just a verses ago, if that fish had accused you of being fence sitter, that would have been verses. That would have been verses.
No. That fish, I would have to pour bleach in his water.
Now, goat, you have been on the killing of Tony, yes? You have been on the verses of killing Tony, yes?
Oh, yes, those verses. You know, I had, believe this or not, I was wearing a shirt when I did kill Tony the other time, and it had neither a goat or a fish on it. It had a dead gorilla, Harambe. And they just, I mean, they couldn't wrap their brains around why somebody would wear a Harambe shirt to, you know, a show at the Comedy Store. And I thought that versus was kind of weird. I kind of, you know, I could agree with that versus to some extent.
Goat versus
they
fish
did say that versus.
cannot ponder how it is that you would wear a onesie that is neither goat nor fish. That is also strange to goat versus fish. Perhaps the ones at the killing of Tony and goat versus fish are not so different on these verses, yes.
Yeah, perhaps. Yeah, perhaps they prefer to see something that's either goat or fish or versus.
Now, goat versus fish, yes, you may wear a fence sitter upon you, goat. You may wear a fence sitter upon you, yes, and what compels a goat to have such a fence-sitter Harambe upon it? Why would a goat put that which is neither goat nor fish upon its very onesie?
That's a Land Rover. It's still the same. They have fur, they have arms and legs, and they have babies, and they can climb mountains. So I think a gorilla or a goat, they both start with a G.
Ah, that is an evidence. That is an evidence of goat, yes. Is
That's
there any fish evidence?
That suits you. That.
Is there any fish evidence that Harambe is a fish?
Well, is Harambe a fish? I don't know. Do fish try to kill small children every now and then? Sometimes. Because fish are evil.
There is no good or evil. There is only goat and fish. This is what is said in the beginning of Goat versus Fish.
Oh, I forgot.
Harambe, goat or fish?
On behalf of Harambe, I would like to say that he is a goat.
It is a goat! It is a goat! It is a goat!
It is a goat.
Now, if any fish wish to contest it and say that Harambe is a fish, then you can send a message to Goat versus Fish at Goat versus Fish on the Instagram or the Twitterver. But how would they communicate with this goat, with this celebratory goat? How would they communicate with this goat?
Oh, yes. On the interwebs, my versus is, it's at Mammy Spanx, and that's spelled MAMMYSPANX. And that's on my YouTube and my Twitter and Instagram and Snapchat. And that's what was available in 2007. So I stuck with it.
And now, goat, fish, and fence sitter alike is the verses for celebration of Goat versus Fish. Let us hear your celebration of Goat versus Fish.
This is celebration song now. You guys might want to start celebrating now. And we're going to cut this celebration short because GoatVsFish is doing something weird with his hands. He's getting ready to say something with his hands teed out like that in GoatVsFish style and fashion.
GoatVsFish is simply celebrating with this goat, showing the goat and the fish as you do celebrate. Let us hear the celebration. Let us hear the truest celebration of this goat.
This little fish went up to the goat, yeah. He said, come on, little goat boy, let's put on a show. Then that little fish, he swam away from the goat because he was too scared to put on a show.
Celebration! Celebration! Oh, what a pleasant celebration. Oh, what a pleasant celebration.
Those devil went down to Goatman.
Goat.
What's up?
What do you say to the goat?
Well, I would like to use my platform to say to goats and all goat kind, just keep on goating, you know? Don't stop till you goat enough, okay?
What do you say to the fish?
Fish, you're pretty, but you don't remember things for more than 2 seconds. So, I don't know. Go to school, and no pun intended.
What do you say to the fence sitter?
Fence sitters, I mean, like, I never really felt that strongly about it until I came into this room today, but I really gotta say, man, fence sitters, you gotta pick a side. You gotta pick a side. Because not doing anything is worse than doing things, you know what I'm saying? You gotta make real changes out there. If you're gonna go out there, make some decisions, make some decisions, pick a side. Start being the wheels that turn on this bus. Don't be a passenger.
And what do you say to goat versus fish?
Let's fuck some shit up, man. Let's go out there, make changes, be the wheels that make this go round. Let's go protest. Let's go protest beach umbrellas. Oh, thank you for having me on the podcast, of course. You know, I was going to say that.
Always thank goat versus
like
fish. Always thank GoatVsFish, yes.
Yes, yeah, man. This is super fun. I don't need to clear my throat to play this.
Thank you for joining Goat vs. Fish. Subscribe, rate, and review the Goat vs. Fish podcast on the YouTube and the Ite-Oons. Follow Goat vs. Fish on all social media, on the Instagram, on the Book of Faces, on the Twitterver, and the Twitch, all at Goat vs. Fish, all at GoatVsFish. And if you wish to witness a live versus of Goat vs. Fish at one of the comedy places or conventions, go to GoatVsFish.com to find the places and times of all future verses. Join the Goat vs. Fish discussion group on the Book of Faces to discuss Goat vs. Fish with other goat and fish. And when you are out in the land and the sea, look about you. Look about you. Find one who is lost. Find one who does not know the way. And ask. Simply ask. Are you goat? Or are you fish? Are you goat or fish? Are you goat or fish? These are the verses of Goat vs. Fish. I am Goat vs. Fish, the Goat Fish. Before we end the verses, one final question for this one, yes?
Yes. So celebrate.
Tell us about this celebration that you do have. Yes, there was one that was called the French accent on the 8th verses of the Goat vs. Fish podcast that did have a very growth coming from its very fish that it did call an accordion, yes? What do you call this growth that comes from you, Goat? What do you call this, Goat?
Oh, my growth came from my grandmother. It's a violin. It's not a ukulele. It's not a viola. It's not a fish.
It is a goat! It's a goat!
It's a goat! Goat! Who's a goat? Goat! You's a goat. Goat!
And it was written, and it was written!
And it was written!